Hello, this is going to be my CM8 Oguri Christmas guide. I've gotten a lot of comments on my last CM8 guide about how to use this character because her kit is extremely complicated. It's definitely the most complex ult we've seen in the game, and Arima Kinen is a track where her ult is trickier to use than others, so I figured I would make this guide. Now, going into her unique. This is the sauce. This is the hardest part of her kit by far. You're going to be getting target speed, 0.3 excel, and stamina recovery about equivalent to 2 whites worth of recovery. So, looking at this ult, you have a lot packed into this ult. It would really suck if you didn't hit it. So how do you hit it? It'll be past the 50% zone if you've activated 3 heals. And so looking at her ult, because you have to hit 3 recoveries in order to hit her ult, this means that if you're using a white, of course, 50 stamina here, 100 stamina here. So there's 150 stamina stored in her unique. It's extremely important that you hit these 3 heals. So looking into the Wit requirements, absolute minimum 600. Personally, 900 is the sweet spot. That's going to be what you're wanting to aim for. 800 is good. 600 is fine. This is a chart showing her chances of hitting her ult with these given Wit stats. So at 300 Wit, the chances of hitting her ult, 34%. If you're only hitting your ultimate 34% of the time with 3 heals, that's absolutely not usable. 60% at 600 Wit, personally, not touching that. 900 Wit, 72%. 28%? But nah. 1200, it's still only 80%. So how do we get those numbers up? 4 recoveries. 4 recoveries is definitely, in my opinion, required on this character because it'll give you a 30% bump in 300 and 600 Wit Ogures, and then 20% for 900 and 1200 of even hitting her ult. And her ult, remember, has 150 stats worth of stam packed into it. So if you're not hitting that, your Uma's just gonna die. So 60% of the time at 300 Wit, you're just dead. 30% of the time at 600 Wit, you're just dead. But with 4, it'll bump that number up to 90% of the time. And that, in my opinion, is usable. So I've seen a lot of people saying 777s is very good. And it is good on future tracks. It's just that this track is longer than 2400 meters. On a track that is longer than 2400 meters, 777s will proc after the last spurt begins, after the Excel zone begins. And when you have that 150 stam hinged in the late game, it means that oftentimes you're going to get to this point where the late game begins, and you're going to be out of stam because you planned for it to go off, so you didn't give her an extra 150 stam. And so she gets there completely stammed out, and then the game calculates the acceleration and the final top speed to be much lower than it should. And so, even when it hits, it might not recalculate it properly, and you might just be stuck at this lower top speed and never catch up. And it's late. It's later than angling and scheming. It's not good. And it'll delay NSM even more. You're just screwing yourself out of so much Excel. You're screwing yourself out of your top speed. You're screwing yourself out of your stamina as well. It's not a good idea to pack so much of her kit into the late game. And so it's only a last resort, in my opinion, or if you're giving her 150 extra stam, that it is also takeable. So, as I was talking about, the choice is actually, do you want to hinge 150 stamina and your entire win on a 60% chance of hitting 3 skills all in a row? Or have an almost guaranteed mid-game ult that has 150 stam worth of recovery that can sometimes carry into late game? This, in my opinion, I am taking every single time. Uma Musume is a game of getting consistency in an environment that is RNG. Your goal is to make sure that no matter what happens in your lobby, your Umas behave as you want them to. You're trying to get consistent outcomes to increase your win rate and get consistent results. And so making sure that 150 stam, making sure that speed, making sure that sometimes that Excel comes into play is very, very important. So how do you do this? What recoveries do you take? There's 2 general strategies that I recommend. It's 2 mid-game recoveries, and then 2 gamble recoveries, and 3 mid-game recoveries, and 1 gamble recovery. What are the gamble recoveries? That's going to be straightaway recovery and deep breaths. I know. the straightaway skills, right? We've always heard they're bad, don't take cooldown. It's not good, right? In this track, for this Uma in particular, I recommend them. And why is this? So looking at this track, there's actually only 3 straights. The beginning straight doesn't count. It's not actually a straight. So because there's only 3 straights, it's a 2 in 3 chance for each skill to proc before the end game, before the last spurt, right? So if it's a 2 in 3 chance of it working before, and you have 2 chances of it hitting before, there's only a 1 in 9 chance that they both go in the last spurt. If you hit that option, it's just absolutely dead. So you're banking on a 90% chance and a 90% chance on hitting it. So it's like 80% chance of her working if you're doing 2 mid-game recoveries and 2 gamble skills. But personally, 80% is enough for me, especially because straightaway recovery, if you hit it in this second straight and it's later in the straight, you'll get Excel and Velocity carrying over into the late game. And so when you start your Excel, when you start catching up to the other Umas, you're already above them in top speed, and you have Excel. It's extremely, extremely powerful, plus 150 stamina. Why did they do that? But, so yeah, that's the first strategy. The second strategy is 3 mid-game recoveries plus 1 gamble, right? So you're going to be taking 3 mid-game recoveries that are guaranteed mid-game as long as you hit the wit check, and then 1 straightaway skill, straightaway recovery or deep breaths, and then hoping that deep breaths is the one that you proc it off of, but in the case that the other 3 go off, it's a strong mid-game. This one is more reliable. This one has a little bit of gamble, but is still incredibly strong, especially if you get the carryover. It's much better than 3 recoveries with 777s by far. And with 3 mid-game recoveries plus 1 gamble, basically, what is the worst case scenario? The worst case scenario is, let's say at 600 wit, so 85% chance. Let's say at 600 wit, you fail one of the 3 mid-game recoveries. So that's a 38% chance, right? So 38% chance that you're relying on straightaway recovery. On that 38% chance, there's a 1 in 3 chance of the straightaway recovery not working. So that brings it down to a 10% chance of it being on this final straight, right? So then you're working with a 10% chance of failure. And then on the 20%, there's a 85% chance. So that's like 7%. So 17% chance that it's on the final straight, or you fail the wit check. So between this option and this option, it's about 3% difference in it not working. So you can absolutely do it. 2 mid-game recoveries plus 2 gamble skills. It's very, very strong on her. So yeah, going into the tier list. I made a tier list so that in the future, if you guys want to come back to this video and then look at what skills you have in your hit list, which ones you should take, here they are. The S ranks are going to be the mid-game skills that have a chance of proccing with carryover. So if you take 4 of these, you have a very, very high chance of hitting it into the late game. Notice 3 pace skills here, right? End is still better, but pace has a lot more mid-game skills that have a chance of carryover, just innately. Special week just requires you activating 2 skills, so it's less gamble, but I still put it here because technically, like, if you're not taking mid-game skills, you have a weaker Christmas Oguri. But if you plan it correctly, this can be a very strong option for getting her to carry over. So I put it up here at SP tier because you can, and also I ran out of space. But so yeah, out of the uniques that you can choose, Grass Wonder, Special Week, Halloween Rice Shower, Super Creek, and then Agnes Tachyon. Haru Uraba is not really an option. So all of these pace skills, remember, they require you to be in 2nd place to 5th place. Well, except for U equals MA squared. That one's going to be 3rd and 4th place only. So it's in B tier instead. So if you're running her if you're trying to get Christmas Oguri to lucky pace, do not take any of these pace uniques. It won't work. Don't rely on it. So yeah. Now going to the tier list just in general as well, the A tiers are just going to be your general mid-game skills. They're the mid-game recoveries. So B tier is going to be where I have all the skills where they're last resorts. If you have nothing else you can take for 4th, you can take these. but they won't be as good. And then C tier, these will be the ones that are incredibly inconsistent. For instance, Lay Low, somewhat takeable for an end closer. Pace, don't take it. This is Iron Will's White. So yeah. And then F tier, just don't take it. Trust me, please. All right. Oh, Shake It Out. You might see this is on Christmas Oguri. Don't take it. Its condition requires it to be late race. So automatically, you're forcing it into late, and it also requires you to activate multiple skills. At this point in Global, we don't have many skills that'll go off early enough in the end game to actually reliably hit this. Do not take that skill, period. All right, this is the best supports to choose for your skills. Preferred position. These are all going to be the S rank ones. So looking at preferred position, we have Daiwa Scarlet Wit, Daiwa Scarlet Power, Medro Arden Wit. Looking at these, the only one I'm taking is Daiwa Scarlet. You can take the power card if you want. Personally, I don't like power cards. And then Medro Arden, she's just generally not a great wit stat stick compared to Daiwa, but still, if it's your only option, you can take her. So yeah, Daiwa Scarlet, very, very powerful wit card. Hydrate. Now, Hydrate is going to be on a Christmas Oguri costume event, so I'm not going to recommend other cards for it. You're going to get 2 hints innately with Christmas Oguri as long as you hit this event, which you hopefully will. So just take the top option. Personally, 30-ish skill points is worth 10 power 5 guts to me. Straightaway Recovery. On Kita-san, this is just in her skill hint pool. So if you see a red hint, you can click on Kita-san hoping to get Straightaway Recovery. Or, as well, Quarter Recovery. So very, very good option. Do not take Extra Tank, please. I hit hint for Extra Tank so often on her. Don't take it, trust me. Vodka Power. Now this card, compared to Daiwa, much better power stat stick. So, I mean, apps actually takeable compared to her, personally. I'm still not doing it, though. Maya Speed. Now this card just came out, and it's extremely powerful, especially for pace. I personally will probably be borrowing this Speed Maya to make a pace Oguri because, I mean, it's just very, very good. It's a very, very good stat stick. It's a very, very good hint stick. It's just a very good card. And then Maya Stamina. Personally, I don't think many people should take this unless you're really struggling to hit that stamina requirement, but it's very, very easy to hit. And then Deep Breaths. This is going to be on Super Creek Stamina. I don't think you need a stamina card, but if you are taking one, Quarter Recovery and Deep Breaths. Deep Breaths is on a event hint for her, so be on the lookout for that. And then we have Rice Shower Power. Rice Shower Power, if you cancel her first event, you'll have a higher chance of finishing your other support cards' event chains, and also get Passing Pro. Very, very good white. So if you do that, if you choose to take the 40 SP instead of finishing her event, personally that's what I've been doing, but you don't need to. And then you can also get Deep Breaths from a hint from her. So very, very powerful card for that. Personally, I don't like running power cards, but if it's your only option for recovery, if you're having trouble hitting the stats, you can take her. I was taking her for a little bit because it was 2 whites to me. That seemed very worth it. Now, there are 2 main positions that Oguri will really be run in this CM, pace and end. End is definitely the stronger option, but is also trickier to get working well. And then pace, of course. And so for these 2 positions, above them I also have the uniques that I recommend bringing for each position. Choose at your own discretion. So for pace, the skills you're going to be looking for, innate experience, it's innate for her. Head on, gamble, it's acceleration, not as required. Head on, not as required, it's a gamble acceleration, but it does still help for proccing. No stopping me. No stopping me. Absolutely required in my opinion. You can get nimble nav, I guess, but no stopping me is better. Angling and scheming, if you're looking to try and win with her as a lucky pace, you can do that. Though, bear in mind, if you use her as a lucky pace, Pure Heart, Dazzling Diver, U equals M8 squared, don't work. You can't use that if you're in first place. Not reliable. You want to run a front as well with Oguri Christmas so that you pace up the lobby, pace her up, have somebody to NSM off of, and just in general, it'll make her a lot more consistent. Hydrate. You'll get that. And then in addition to hydrate, you're going to want 3 other recoveries. Remember? 4 recoveries. No 3 recoveries, 4 recoveries. That's the golden rule. Personally, I will never run her with just 3. Here, I just got unlucky, but it is what it is. And so these examples that I'm showing here, they aren't very, very powerful yet. These are still extremely rough drafts. You can see that the speed isn't maxed. You absolutely need speed maxed. This one doesn't have long S. You need long S. But just in general, these were to show where you can be hitting the stats with. These were both still low roll runs for me. So there's definitely room for improvement. And the skills can be better too. This one also doesn't have Umastan. So 800 plus stamina. So remember, she gets Nakayama Racecourse as well. Very, very powerful. Pick that as well. It'll help you hit that stamina goal much easier. Right around 400 guts is also a sweet spot. And then for end, you're going to want innate experience again. It's a very, very strong gold end game skill. You're going to want it. Straightaway spurt, absolutely required. No stopping me, absolutely required. Umastan, not as required, but still incredibly powerful, especially if you're running a chariot front. And then 4 other recoveries. Whatever you choose those to be. Here I got corner recovery, deep breast, passing pro, 777s. Personally, 777s should be straight away recovery here, but it's the only option I had. And then you'll need 5-star end closer to get her to A. And then 750 stam. At least. That's what I recommend for her. You'll see here that these decks that I used triple wit for my pace, and then double wit for my end. I'll be switching probably to triple wit in the future. I just was using Sweep Tosho Borrow to hit a straightaway spurt that was at least usable to test with for this video. But yep. You'll see here I didn't use a single stamina card, still hit the stamina requirements for pace, which is much more stamina hungry than end. You don't need a stamina card. Alright, now I'll pass it over to Wasting Sky to give some pace example races. Alright, so now I am going to show off the runs. These are going to be cherry picked, but I think that there is value to be gained from cherry picking because you can look at what the Umas did well and what to improve on and what to focus on keeping in your builds. So for this run, I'm going to be showing off the Pace Oguri. Duty of Dignity, very strong, angling and scheming, right-handed winner runner, both of the greens, so it has 1400 speed, 800 stamina, with 4 recoveries, so it will live as well. Strong power, extremely strong wit, long S, okay guts. It could use groundwork, but it has innate experience, it has some decent mid-game, it's a very, very strong run. Now, what did I put it up against? I put it up against an extremely strong late from Dedra over in BF Chord. It has the Excels, Umastan, innate experience, no stopping me. Double S, very, very strong Uma right here. We also have you. They have Umastan, no stopping me. They have the Excels, straightaway spurt. Very, very strong. All right. And then I threw in my End Oguri. It's nothing crazy. I'll go into that one in the next one. Tome, we have, I believe I found them in a random room match. They have its on, long corners, straightaway spurt, moving past and beyond, Umastan. It's good enough. All right. And then extremely, extremely strong Summer Maru. Taking the lead, groundwork, tail held high, front run straightaways, fast pace, long straightaways, angling and scheming, it lives, 900 wit, max speed, 800 power. It has pretty much everything you could ask for right here. Very, very strong. Tai Hao made a very, very strong Summer Maru. We have a Suzuka to pace up the lobby. It only has early lead and groundwork, but it's enough Excel. It's 0.4 still. It's built to win, so it could block the other Maru, but it's used to be a chariot for the ends. And so I threw it in a somewhat unforgiving lobby for the pace. And I also have my Falcon. It's double S. It's not amazing yet. I'm still working on it, but I will bring her. I'll have her win at least once. So anyway, let's get into it. See what happens. So right off the bat, we can see that she is sitting in 4th place as the pace chaser. My Falcon is far enough ahead to where... Yeah. She's starting to overtake. She hit Hydrate. Deep Breath, so she's hit 2 out of the 3 already. She's very close to overtaking my Falcon. My Falcon didn't ult. Long corners. She'll probably overtake soon here. Yep, there you go. Ramp up, pace corners. She's got a lot of speed from that. And let's see when she ults. Does she 777 for the ult, or is it straightaway recovery? Straightaway recovery. So we can see that in this example, she straightaway recovered before the end game. So she gets a massive speed carryover with Excel. That's going to boost her up from 3rd. So it looks like she's not even going to rely on no stopping me here. She's going to Duty of Dignity, Innate, Professor of Curvature, Angling and Scheming. Very, very late, but it helped to get up to the higher target speed. And there you go. You can run her as pace. It can win. It'll be extremely strong against certain lobbies in CM, especially against weaker fronts, especially against weaker CM ends. But it will be worse than the ends, in my opinion. Even though the ends require a lot more work. Alright, and now for the end examples. Alright, and now for the end Oguri cap. Now, this Oguri cap, it's in the exact same lobby, alright? But it's not very strong. It's missing quite a bit. It has 4 recoveries, but the only 4th recovery I could find was 777s on this run. So it's going to be weaker because of that. It does have straightaway spurt. It does have innate experience. But, I mean, it's close to max speed, but it's still not where I want my Christmas Oguri to be for end. So yeah. Alright. It's also against very, very strong Umas, so let's keep that in mind. Alright, starting off the race, I'm going to go to 2x speed again. Right off the bat, we can see she's going to be lagging behind already because no Uma Stam. That's going to be really hurting us here, especially because we have a Suzuka runaway. She's going to be stretching out the lobby, making it a lot harder for the ends if they aren't built with very strong mid-game, especially Uma Stam. Slipstream at least, though. We can see that Oguri, who's really not that strong still, is in 7th while she's only in 8th. She will start to catch up though as the game goes on because of the higher wit. I believe I only saw corner recovery so far. I think. There might have been another one though. No stopping me straightaway spurt, and then there's the ult. So 777 for the ult this time. But she also hit straightaway spurt, she also hit NSM, so that's a lot of Excel right there, and I believe that this Oguri is built with enough stam, and she would be much further ahead of the Spay if she had higher top speed, but there you go. She still won though. Alright. There you go. Only by a nose, but... yeah, so she has 840 stamina, which is more than enough for an end closer, so that's about probably like 100 stam over, especially since she didn't rush. So she probably would have lived without her ult still, so it didn't hurt too much to rely on 777s there, but it's still not ideal. Ideally, she would have used it as mid-race, and then no stopping me and straightaway spurted like she would, and she would have been further up because of her ult. But yeah. Alright. So that's gonna be my video. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more content. I know that it's been 2 videos between my Oshi series, so hopefully I'll be getting to that Teo episode soon. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for watching. Bye!